Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 21st of September, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar. The dollar just jumped yesterday on the Fed announcement that they're still keeping the potential of a further interest rate rise. So that really just made the dollar just jump on that announcement, and the QE program starting to unwind some of that as well. But the real sentiment move there was that a rate rise in December is still on the cards. So that has just put dollar into short-term bullish. The big question is, will we have seen a bottom here on the dollar? We've got a lot to do to get back above the cloud in the medium term, and of course in the long term, a real lot to do. And we unwound a lot of the upside targets. We still have this very big upside target still available, but maybe this is the place where we find support on the dollar. Too hard to say at this stage. And of course, the euro just fell immediately on that stronger dollar. The 122 target that we saw here has come off the chart. We are finding some support this morning, but we've now got a downside target of 116.50. So again, we might be just seeing an end to the run in the euro, so just need to keep an eye on that. The dollar against the yen, of course, looking strong still, and really making quite a big transition here into long-term bullish. So the dollar looking strong there. Against sterling just now falling back again on that stronger dollar. There's the move yesterday. Not as marked as the euro, but we are just falling now into bearish territory with no clear upside targets on the short-term chart. Looking at euro against sterling against the euro, we see here as well that we are just seeing downside potential on this new chart here, but we have not yet activated that target back to the 110 level. And we're still just holding the bullish position slightly. So euro is just the relatively weak currency short term. Against the Swiss franc, sterling still holding its strength. And of course, safe havens like Swiss franc and gold, which we'll look at, falling against the dollar, so just falling against sterling relatively as well. Just holding on to its gains against the Australian dollar, but again hitting some medium-term resistance here, so that will be interesting to watch play out. The S&P 500 index just held its gains slightly. The Nasdaq was down a bit, so Nasdaq is just lagging at the moment. US tech just not performing as strongly as the blue chips in the S&P 500 and the Dow. We're seeing here the Dow is just making new highs again, so that's really running ahead, and the Russell 2000 also running quite strongly now, starting to nudge new time highs, so just really getting back to get above that July high. So the broader market looking pretty strong. The S&P future down very slightly, but no significant change there in the trends. And the Nasdaq E-mini also down slightly and still bearish short term, so it's all about that Nasdaq lag at the moment. FTSE 100 is up slightly but still bearish below the cloud. The stronger sterling has just held the FTSE back, and the FTSE 250 much the same picture. The DAX looking quite strong. We're just about to come back into medium-term bullish territory, so that is helping. And the Nikkei also just reaching for the stars. We're seeing here just about to test this 2015 high, so multi-year highs on the Nikkei. The Hang Seng is looking pretty bullish, and the Shanghai Composite is just holding on, but it's not looking quite as bullish as the Hang Seng. And then if we look at the Sensex, the Indian market still looking strong on all counts. Australian market just sinking lower there, testing new lows. Australian equity is just not looking good. Lots of downside targets, so we are just seeing real pressure on the Australian equity market. Brent crude looking strong, bullish above the cloud, and WTI also looking strong, so we're just seeing that hold. Nat gas has fallen back below the 310 level in the US, but we are just seeing still just holding its bullish position just. We're just having a bit of medium-term resistance here on the cloud as well. We take a look straight at gold, because gold is suffered immediately where the dollar rose yesterday, so we saw a sell-off. We're back below the 1300 level on gold, so we are just seeing that just coming back there. We've got some downside targets here. The medium and long-term charts not massively affected. We've still got uptrends and we're still bullish on these charts, but the short-term picture has turned bearish in line with the dollar turning bullish. And if we look here at silver, much the same picture, of course, just falling out of bed here. And the long-term picture for silver not quite as good as gold. US Treasury yield sitting at 2.27%. Of course, they jumped yesterday on that announcement from the Fed as well. So we are just coming back to the higher levels here. Apple still looking bearish here below the cloud, so the sentiment on Apple is not that strong. And we medium term, long term still bullish, but the short term is bearish. Google recovering, so we are seeing that with the HTC announcement yesterday. The market's taken that quite well. Amazon also just holding on, but not looking as strong. Facebook still above the cloud and looking stronger, and Microsoft continuing to hold its strong position as well. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.